Welcome back to Locked On Chiefs, folks. We are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, which tomorrow begins the Locked On NFL Preview Series. It's on its own feed. Make sure you check that out. It begins tomorrow for every team across the league. We have a great show for you. Today is a touch of news. We'll get to that, as well as our 53-man roster projections. Hopefully before the team makes any moves, you guys will be viewing this, listening to this, seeing it all. Welcome to Locked On Chiefs.
It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. From the land of the free and the home of the Chiefs, this is the Locked On Chiefs podcast.
So you're already seeing my offense. So it's a little bit of cheating, but it is what it is. I do want to say, give us a little bit of leeway here because this is all new to us, sharing the screen. So I'm going to be looking away from the camera to adjust. So just a heads up, want to throw that out there. I'll let you go ahead and say what you need to say. I just wanted to kind of get that out there. Oh, and really quick, please subscribe and like on YouTube and comment on YouTube. We really appreciate it. And thank you all for all the comments on the bonus episode that we did because it is blowing up and we really appreciate that as well.
Yeah, it's nice to have the comment section working. So if you guys would leave your thoughts down below there, it's a little bit quicker than getting feedback through iTunes. But if you're still listening, I appreciate that. Check out the iTunes, give us the iTunes review and put 5 stars, but put a question or a comment in there as well. So obviously, before we get into the hardcore debate about this 53, and we're going to compare our versions of it, a little bit of news. I said this the other day that if something was other than a 1 next to Patrick Mahomes' name, that something went wrong, and clearly the league agreed with me.
Finally, and you have to wonder what he's going to back it up with this year because honestly, I kind of like the little bit of petty he's been able to have the past couple of seasons. So what's going to drive his additional motivation this year? Obviously, he's trying to go 20-0. Yeah, he's number 1. I think it's almost as important to say that Travis Kelce's number 5. Mm-hmm. He's the highest ranked tight end that they've ever had. And you can make an argument that he should have been number 4, but I also get why Derrick Henry was 4 because he has led the league in rushing in back-to-back seasons.
Hey,
and that's impressive.
It is, but 2 guys for the Chiefs in the top 5. That's what I had hoped for, and that's what I'm very happy to see, to tell you the truth.
Yep, plus Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, what was he, 15?
Yeah, yeah. So you have 3 guys in the top 10 or the top 20. So yeah, I said the offense is pretty loaded.
Yeah, and Chris Jones, well done. They didn't get much in the bottom 50, but they paid off in the top 50, and that is a unique thing that gets voted on by the players, and I think that's significant. So that said, right now it is Sunday morning. We are recording this as early as possible before any of the things happen. There's 2 ways that this can go. The Chiefs could hold it all. We've seen them delay and kind of release everything at once.
Especially if they're trying to make trades. Just want to throw that out there.
Absolutely. And we've talked a lot about this particular preseason. So maybe they hold it all till Tuesday and we're well ahead of schedule and everyth's fine.
Better that than the alternative.
Right? It never works out for us.
Exactly.
So
here we are.
So we're going to give you this to you right now as we go through position by position. Maybe we'll see some of these things start to leak out slowly. Maybe they're going to do a couple of things here, a couple of things there. It's really interesting. And just before, maybe we'll start next segment here, but just a couple of things. This is very interesting for me to get used to this delay. Because usually it's last preseason game and the next morning stuff starts, right? So this played on Thursday or played on Friday, and now you got to wait 4 days. It's intriguing. There, I changed the word.
Yeah, I like it, though, because I like having Labor Day free, the Labor Day weekend free, and we'll have to figure out what we're doing there. But I think it's actually good for the league and it's good for the players because you're not playing that 4th preseason game. I know it doesn't give some of the younger guys a chance to make the roster, but generally speaking, I would say that you and I are both on the same page that probably going into the 4th preseason game, 51 to 52 of the roster spots are already figured out. Maybe there's 1 or 2 guys.
Yeah.
But even generally then, I don't think there's that many. I do want to mention this before we get into our roster. Sounds like the Ravens are dealing with a significant injury.
And for those of you in my dynasty draft, don't worry, you're not going to have to try to keep Dobbins away from me because I was going after him. Evidently that has changed, and hopefully it sounds like they're expecting an ACL tear. Let's hope that it's not the case for young Dobbins.
Yeah, and honestly, that could really hurt his value next year too. And I'm not trying to talk fantasy. I'm just saying in general, when you look at how that's going to affect a player like him who has to cut a lot, I would think that that's going to mean that he's going to be struggling in 2022 just to come back from that injury. Although I know ACL injuries have come a long way.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But this also hurts what is the Ravens as a rival for the Chiefs this season in what they had tried to double down on their running game. I look for them to sign Todd Gurley here pretty quick, but that does change the efficiency I think that they're going to get out of that run game and maybe change the fortunes for them down the season and whether the Chiefs will see them in the playoffs.
Well, when you talk about fortunes and you talk about guys that are making money, we have a lot to talk about when it comes to this this roster and the guys that have made the money. But before we get to that, North One is better banking for small business owners. Serving small business owners is all they do. North One allows you to manage your money from anywhere. Whether you're at home or on the go, everything you need to manage your business finances at your fingertips. Never step foot in a bank branch again. In addition to the features you'd expect, like mobile check deposit, cash withdrawals, the ability to send and receive ACH and wire payments, North One is an FDIC-insured account that can save you both time and money. North One integrates the accounting software you already use, saving you hours of manual bookkeeping. And with North One's envelope feature, you can automatically budget and save for things like rent, payroll, taxes, and more. With North One, you never pay overdraft or NSF fees again, saving you hundreds of dollars per month. To get started, visit apply.northone.com/locked. That's apply.north1 spelled out. So just want to make sure that's known. Apply.northone.com/locked. That's apply.northone.com/locked. North One, business banking made for America.
Sorry, I interrupted you there. I was betting that you were done at that point. If I was going to lay that action, I would have gone to betonline.ag. Not just for football and everything gridiron related, but whether Chris hits that repeat or not. So, hey, that's the way that it goes. BetOnline's your number one spot for all your pro and college action, whether it's this sport that is important or all the others that are not. Get all the odds, props, and contests, including the biggest one, the $1 million mega contest and the 200,000 survivor contest. You can get in on both of those at betonline.ag right now. If you head over there, you can get a 100% welcome bonus as well. Use that promo code Locked On, and that will help you out. Be sure to take advantage of that opening day. The September 9th game is still available, and even if you lay a $25 bet and lose, it will get refunded, so no risk to you. BetOnline's the fastest, easiest way to put all your action down on the line. Go check out our friends over there. Use the code Locked On at betonline.ag, your online sportsbook experts.
On the line. Sorry, it makes me chuckle every time, and I can't help but see Vince Vaughn saying on the line and intern.
Yeah, we're gonna have to pull that up. And is that a copyright if we show that? I don't know. Probably.
That's so funny. If you haven't seen it, it's great. Just Google on the line and Vince Vaughn and the intern. It's fantastic. You mean online? Yes, on the line. No, on. Anyway, sorry. We need to get into roster projections. It's so fun.
It's a weird day for us, folks. It's early, so.
It's very early. That's why you see Ryan sipping on the coffee or chugging on the coffee, whichever one.
Yeah, this is only cup 2, so I'm not even
assuming it's coffee.
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm usually not up to full strength till cup 3, though, so we'll see what happens. But you guys have seen this screen here going this whole time, which makes a lot of sense. But let's get into it. Just start at the top. Clearly, I think we both feel the same way. The 2 quarterbacks is all that you can afford to have on this roster. They've done that in the past, despite Michelle putting up some good and some bad in that last preseason game.
Yep.
We agree on these 2, but I wonder if we agree on what happens. Who is the quarterback on the practice squad, because they have to have one.
Yeah, and I think we need to probably just talk about that afterwards, but I do think Michelle is going to be on the practice squad. I guess I just look at this roster and I say that we could go through here, but to me, throwing out practice squad players as we go, we're probably going to get over 16, which is surprising, but this roster has a ton of talent. And again, I do want to say this, if you're just starting to watch this now, please give us a little bit of grace, because this is new to us sharing a screen, and I'm going to have to be looking to the side to move it back and forth. So Just throwing it out there. I agree. It's going to be. I think it's Mahomes and Haney. I don't think you can keep a third with all the other positions. So I think that's kind of where they're going to be.
Yeah, I understand. I completely agree. And that was the easy one.
Yep.
Now let's get into the fun part. What do you got next?
Running backs. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Williams, and McKinnon. I don't think that there's any other way you could go with running backs. I know a lot of people want Gore on the roster. I just don't think that they can keep him. Maybe he gets taken by somebody else, but I'm not going to say running backs are a dime a dozen, but there are guys that play running back and do different things well throughout the preseason every year, and it seems like none of those guys usually ever get picked up. So I think Gore is going to be safe to make it to the practice squad.
I agree with you. And I thought we weren't talking about practice squatters, but
well, we're not. I just want to say that because I know a lot of people have been saying Gore should be on the roster.
Yeah.
I just can't see 4 running backs being on this roster if you're going to keep as many tight ends and wide receivers as I expect, and linemen for that matter.
Makes perfect sense to me. Now, in this view, is there anything off the screen here, or do you want to narrow down that column A?
There is nothing more in the screen for running backs. For fullbacks, obviously, you're just going to keep Burton. I do think he's going to have a spot on this roster. The team likes to have a fullback, or they wouldn't have brought him in, and I think he's done enough on special teams to have him there.
All right, hit me with the wide receivers then. There's no arguments yet.
Hill, Hardman, Pringle, Robinson, and here we go. Here's where I'm going to have to scroll a little bit. Gotcha. Robinson, Kemp, and Fountain.
Okay.
And 5 and 6, you can probably flip. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Those are the same 6 guys that I have, and it's interesting that we both kept 6. Folks, we didn't plan this out. We wanted to come at it from our own angles and compare to kind of get a consensus 53 for you. I did have Fountain above Kemp because I think just role-wise, I think Fountain will play offense if he plays rather than special teams. I think Kemp will play special teams rather than offense myself. But
I don't disagree with you there, but my issue and the reason I have Fountain as my 6th is because if the Chiefs only go with 5 wide receivers,
it is Kemp. I'm with you.
I don't think that that's something they're going to do, but it wouldn't shock me if they did because they have so many other players at different positions. It's going to be tough.
Understood. What do we have next then? What did you do at tight end?
Kelsey, Bell, Fortson, and Gray.
Okay, so you kept them all.
I did.
Okay. Shoot, so did I.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have any issues agreeing until probably we get to offensive line, and I know we're going to have some disagreements there. But I do think that Fortson's made this team, and this is the reason why I don't think you can keep 4 running backs. This is one of the reasons, one of the positions why you can't keep 4 running backs. I do think, and people were asking on YouTube, why show a 4 tight end set in the preseason? And I think it's because they want people to know that they're going to have things in the 4 tight end set.
Yeah.
And it could be anything. It could be running. It could be passing. Who knows what it's going to be? It's
fear factor for sure.
So
this is how you get them to bring somebody back into the box. We'll talk strategery here later.
Strategery. Right. There you go. All right. Any questions?
No, go with it. We're on the same page here so far. Now let's get into the O-line.
Left tackle, Brown Jr. and Rimmers. Don't think that there's much you can really question there. Left guard, Tooney and LDT, although that's probably right guard. I probably flip-flop those, but it doesn't really matter. I just was going to get 10. Center, Humphrey and Blythe, and this is where I'm pretty sure we have a difference. Right guard, Smith and Allegretti, and then right tackle, Niang and Wiley.
So this puts you at 26 on offense. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. I went 25. I did not keep Blythe on this roster. All the backups that you have are the backups that I have. I think they are the 4 best players after the starters. I think because of either the injury or the age, I think Blythe will be available post cut down to re-sign to the practice squad and elevate if needed. So that's my direction that I'm going. I have 25 and 25. Okay.
And the other thing is, to be clear, and I saw Nate put this out right before we recorded this, and his roster is eerily similar to mine. I will say, I think he said that Blythe and Long can go on the PUP. But from my recollection, Blythe practiced during training camp, so he's not eligible for PUP. So the only thing that they can do if they want to keep Blythe is they could keep him the first day, same with LDT, and they could put him on a short-term IR. I do think that could be an option for both of those guys, and I do expect that's what they're going to do with LDT. You notice I don't have Long on my roster. I think he's going to PUP.
I agree completely. And if for some reason he doesn't, that he would be the 10th for me over Blythe.
Fair enough. So then you'd have to cut another defensive player. So you'd keep 26 and 24.
I wouldn't. No, I would still be 25 and 25. But if they make a decision, because we have to remember LDT is going to go on here, I still expect him to go to short-term IR. So they could roll either someone back in either side of the ball. I couldn't tell you. If they don't, if LDT does not go to IR here on Tuesday, or I'm sorry, on Wednesday, then we know that he's recovered enough to contribute. And that's a good thing too. So we'll just have to see how that continues down the line.
Right. But you're saying Long would be your 10th. So who do he's cut? You wouldn't keep him then if he doesn't go to PUP?
Oh, no. If he doesn't go to PUP, but I don't see any way that he won't go to PUP. That's an option in my world. So,
okay. Well, I just wanted to be clear because you said that and I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
So that's where we are on offense. And after we get back from break, we will cover the defense.
It's a little cluttered, but that's okay. There are ways to clean up clutter, and DirecTV has something for you as well. Does this sound familiar that all your devices, you try to watch the game, watch everything on there, and you have like different remotes, your phone, like all kinds of things? They have a brand new way for you to take it all and simplify it down, take all the hassle out of it, and finally get your TV the way you want it. It's called DirecTV Stream, and it brings all your live TV, on-demand favorites, and everything that you need into one place so that it's easy for you. And that means no more juggling remotes, no need to buy another device ever again. And the best part is there's no annual contract. So get rid of all the clutter and all the confusion and get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can find out more at directtv.com. That's directtv.com, and a compatible device is required, but content varies by package. Check out directtv.com.
Who's hungry on this roster other than Chris Jones? Because I know Chris Jones is always hungry. Built Bar is the best tasting protein bar ever. I'm sure you have your products right there that you can share with the folks. There you go. Ryan is still loaded with Built Bar. I'm jealous. Did you know there was 9 delicious flavors? Say what?
One of my kids stole one of my.
They found your stash.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to work on that. When you talk to a Built Bar fan, they're definitely passionate about their faves, and Ryan is definitely passionate about Brownie Chunk, and he's going to let his daughter know about that. If you don't know the Built Bar flavors, you're missing out. Coconut, almond, cherry, raspberry, mint brownie, peanut butter brownie, double chocolate, and salted caramel. So there's something there for everyone. My favorite is probably the peanut butter brownie, although I really do like the salted caramel as well. If you haven't tried all the flavors, you can get a mixed box where you get 2 of each of the 9 flavors. Not only are the Built Bar flavors the best tasting, but they're healthy too. They have 17 to 18 grams of protein, only 130 to 180 calories, only 4 to 5 grams of sugar, and 4 to 5 grams of net carbs. 9 amazing flavors, all tasty, all healthy. Go get that raspberry or mint brownie or the salted caramel or whatever you like. Go to built.com and use promo code LOCK15. You'll get 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at built.com.
I'll take 15%.
Yeah, me too.
At the rate that I'm ordering them, I need it. So we are flipping over to defense. I am adjusting my sheet here so I can tell you where I'm at.
And I need to adjust this sheet. So I'm going to go line by line.
Okay, sounds good to me.
So forgive me if I'm flip-flopping the ends, but I got Jones at right end, followed by Dana and Kangdo. Those are a couple of my D ends. And then I also have Clark and Okafor and Ward as my other 3 defensive ends. So I'm keeping 6 defensive ends.
Okay.
I guess I'll show the D tackles because there's really no questions there.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty chalk right there.
Right.
I, too, kept 10 on the defensive front, 6 ends. I have Kangdo to the practice squad, however, with Harris making the roster. I think that's going to be a volatile situation in that they may rotate through. I was intrigued by the fact that Harris got snaps above Ward and Kangdo the other night. So I'm going to kind of roll with that, even though it's a very muddy situation. I do feel that Kano can get to the practice squad, and should they feel, hey, he's ready to come up, I think that will be an easy change.
Fair enough. I will say this, and we didn't mention this before. Obviously, with the wide receivers, that means Powell gets cut. I have a lot of people telling me on Twitter and on YouTube that there's no way they're cutting a draft pick. You have another draft pick here with cut with Kano.
Yep.
My disagreement with you on that is I think that they believe that Kano was a draft pick, and I don't think that they will risk losing a defensive end because it's a more valuable position than wide receiver. I get where you're coming from. I think Harris could probably be a better player this year than Kano, at least early on, but I do think Kano probably has better upside, and they drafted him for a reason. So I can see them keeping Kano and letting Harris be on the practice squad or just letting him go.
I can too, and I think for both Powell, and I do have him on the practice squad, I think for both those players, I think it comes down to Brett Veach's feel for who will not get scooped up should he let him go. And so This is just my inclination. We'll see what Brett Veach thinks.
DTs, no questions. Reed, Wharton, Noddy, and Saunders.
Absolutely. Although I will say that Herring is going to be, I think, a guy that maybe gets onto the practice squad. I don't know that they're going to IR him permanently. And I think maybe
he's already on IR, isn't he?
I thought that they had
not designated him.
That's what I thought. Maybe I'm incorrect. And if he is, then obviously IR is what it is. So, but I do think there will be another defensive tackle. I'm leaning towards Clark at this point to make the practice squad.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I think he could. I don't know. I didn't see enough from him, but they always are going to need different positions. And the big question for me there is, what's going to happen with all the different areas that, I was trying to see if I could find Malik Herring and see what they did with him, but I can't seem to find what he did at this point or what they did with him. So I'm not exactly sure if they put him on NFI or if they put him on injured reserve.
Let's check out the linebackers then. We'll get back to you on that one, folks.
Yep. Neiman and Dorian O'Daniel. This is going to be difficult. If you really believe, and I think Darius Harris is probably, or maybe even Mark Cobb are better linebackers than DOD, but I just can't see them getting rid of DOD because of his special teams play.
And that's fair. I can understand that. I will tell you that I disagree because I am looking at the defensive side and the fact that I don't think they have another Will. So I put Cobb on here.
So this is where we differ on that. I guess my question to you is, is this where we differ? Did you keep 6 linebackers?
I did not.
Oh, so you have DOD gone.
Yes. I think
Gotcha.
It gets back to the practice squad without any kind of issue.
Fair enough. And I think you're probably right. I do think that that's possible. Next one, Hitchens and Bolton. Your middle linebackers. I don't think there's probably going to be any questions there.
Nope.
And then weak side linebacker, Gay.
Okay. Yeah, that is the only real difference. So you have 6, I have 5. I included Cobb rather than DOD. Oh, wait. No, you have 5 there as well.
I have 5.
Okay, so Hitchens, Bolton, Gay, and Neiman. And I kept Cobb, you kept DOD. Okay, understood. Yeah, so we're coming down. So this means you have 9 DBs. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, here we go.
And you have 10.
Correct.
Yeah, that doesn't shock me.
No.
Okay, corners, Ward and Baker. And honestly, corner position, I put positions here, but really it's just kind of all a mix. Ward, Baker, Snead, Fenton, and Hughes. I think they're keeping 5. They could keep 6. If they keep 6, it's Keys. But right now I have them at 5.
I have them with the 6, and I agree that Keys is the 6th, and that is exactly what I have. So we are copacetic on that.
Safeties, Matthew, Thornhill, Sorensen, and Watts.
That's where I am this morning. We'll see if that changes this evening. I don't know. But
are you saying you'll change your mind?
You never know. I'm really intrigued by upside versus special teams between Anderson and Watts. So, but other than that, this is how I have it right this morning, and it may just stick. So, for the most part, the only differences we had was a linebacker, a defensive back, and the the selection of the ends.
No, we also had differences on the offensive line.
I know. I'm talking about defense.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And then obviously the three specialists are the three specialists. Right.
Butker, Townsend, and Winchester. And this is my annual plea to the NFL. Please expand rosters.
Yeah.
So we need more than 53 players. I would be happy if you went to 60, honestly.
Yeah.
And I think you have the money to do it with the new salary cap. So
I would concur. NFLPA is probably looking at the same exact thing, so we'll see what happens with that. We want to know what you think. What are your reactions to this? Where do you think that we're wrong? Or who do you think's wrong? Did Chris get something right that I missed or the opposite? Let us know in the comments on YouTube, in the iTunes reviews, and hit us at Locked On Chiefs on Twitter. Any last takeaways, Chris?
No, I just do think that it's going to be interesting to see what the Chiefs do with this roster. And I don't think, and this is one of the big keys to me that I think that we saw in previous years that I don't think we'll see this year. In previous years, they've cut to 52 or 51 because they knew they were claiming somebody. I don't think there's any possibility that happens this year.
It's tough. It's going to be very difficult to find someone that you can claim that is better than this roster right now.
Well, it's not even that. It's that I just don't see them feeling like they can cut extra players just to be able to claim somebody.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they can't, but
now there's still some gaps. I do feel the safety is still a little bit weak. Yep. So there are some places that can be, I think, improved. But overall, this is probably the most competitive roster that we've seen in the Andy Reid era.
And honestly, DN's weak. But behind the starters, and even you have question marks about how Clark is going to be able to play with the way he's done things. So that's weak. And wide receiver 2 is still a question for Kansas City. Is there going to be somebody that gets released that we don't expect to be released? That'd be fantastic if you're Kansas City. Yeah. So
keep an eye out. You never know, folks. We hope that you enjoy this. Enjoy the anticipation until the Chiefs make their announcements. We will have reaction for you all week long. Make sure you don't miss one. Like, sub, and hit the bell over on YouTube. And check out those iTunes reviews. And hit Spotify. Hit Odyssey. Some other ways that you can get the show, I think, a little bit quicker these days. So thank you, Chris, for taking time this morning. Thank you guys for listening and watching. We'll talk to you tomorrow.